I'm going to point out one stark, common sense reason why silver is not the answer to economic problems. One stupid statement I'm going to make, it's going to sound like a stupid statement on the surface, but it's nothing but a lump of metal. That's all it is. The real key to the silver is the fact that people just can't produce it like they can produce electrons or paper currencies and make the currency worthless. Now, if we had a central bank and it was 110% honest, that's almost like saying if we had a dictator who was 100% honest, we could probably have a great system even with paper currency or electronic currency. Obviously that can't work because what they always do is they produce too much of it, and that devalues the people's money. But if everybody had silver, would that change the economic output? No. And this is what I look at as a real economy. For instance, construction, you have to have real goods, and quality construction is something that's extremely important. If you go back, well, I can look at Europe, you can look at Rome, you can also look at Japan. And I can tell you that in Japan, some of the construction is so well done that if there is a Cat 5 hurricane or a super typhoon, it doesn't even affect these structures. Like the problems they have in the United States, in Florida, North Carolina, in various places they get hit by hurricanes. You see massive damage. Quality construction is very important, and it's very vital to the economy because once you do something correctly, it lasts forever. But a lump of metal just sits there. And this is one thing that is such a plain obvious fact. And what it really comes down to is, in the United States, there has to be actual production of goods and services before the economy is actually going to turn around. And besides, like, just think, we live in an electronic world. We look at entertainment, electronic entertainment. We have cell phones, we have communication. But all this is not really real in a sense. It's not a physical good. Farming, that is another big area that's more important that people don't think about anymore because no longer is the United States an agricultural society. This is one area I know basically nothing about, but I realize that it's extremely important, and it's actually extremely important to health. How, what crops are grown. Very important. Manufacturing. They took the manufacturing out of the United States, but that doesn't preclude that small manufacturing could be still done. And I think about a lot of these products. Really the thing that's really killing the United States is excessive regulation more than the fiat currency, because there is a gigantic bureaucracy out there, and that kills all the entrepreneurs. There's just so much crap you have to put up with to even hire a person or anything like that it's not worth it. It's just not worth it to even attempt it. But in reality, this coin does not produce anything in a factory. It is a lump of metal. Yes, it's used in different things, but, and I know about the point about fiat currency, but fiat currency, well, theoretically, let's put it this way, could work if you had an honest central bank. Problem is, somebody's not going to be honest at one point in time. Give it time, the system will break down. That's why all fiat currencies fail. But that is not really the problem that's really wrong with the economic system. It's like, we're not actually producing goods. You don't have people, as many people out there, actually doing hands-on jobs, and as far as like looking for energy sources and stuff like that as we were before. I know that this is starting to come on big time, but the thing is, this particular coin is not going to fix the economy. It's not. The problem is the United States kind of turned into a fluff-driven BS, entertainment, total garbage economy. It's really a joke and a half. Most people, you look at their actual function in their jobs, they don't actually produce nothing. Now, I'm actually mainly in finance accounting. And I've always liked, I'm not currently in the construction end of stuff. But, well, I am sort of. I'm still dealing with it somewhat, but construction is down. But I always like finance accounting, not for pure numbers, but where something is actually being generating a product. But I will always keep one foot myself. I'll always keep one foot into areas that I know how to do things. You know, and the one thing is the actual mechanical work, construction work, roofing, that type of stuff. Although I don't know much about agriculture. But the thing is I'm getting into is, what I'm saying is, silver itself is not going to fix the economy. It's definitely not. This lump of metal does nothing. It just sits there. It's people are going to change it. And there is, you know, and I could say that beyond the fiat money system, what is probably the biggest problem going on is the vast bureaucracy that makes it so difficult for any kind of entrepreneur to actually start a business and produce viable goods that people need. And, you know, part of that is from, you know, the forced health care, which is ridiculously horrible in my opinion. I don't know what the hell good most of modern medicine does, but that is a big detriment to starting any kind of business. But, you know, it's like actual production of goods and services that is going to fix the economy. And agriculture is actually a very big part of that. So, you know, I kind of like, you know, I see all these arguments about silver is going to do this and gold is going to do that, and we're going to go back to sound money and all this stuff. Well, that's part of the problem, but the other part of the problem is most people don't know how to do anything anymore. Believe me. There's far fewer people out there that actually have any skilled trades, which is more important than anything. If you look around as to what things you actually use, you know, you live in a house, you have furniture, you have cars, you have electronics, you have food that you need to use, energy, you drive on roadways, you know, you go, you know, it's a lot of stuff is actually more bureaucratic jobs dealing with excessive regulation up the yin yang, and that is 99% of the problem, far more so than a stupid fiat currency. And until you get rid of that stuff, it's not going to change that easy. And until actually people get back to where the heck things used to be more, where most people were actually doing a job that produced something physical good, it's not going to change that easily. That's why I look at this lump of metal, and yeah, I do like this coin in particular. This is the old silver dollar, 1944. And for that reason, I actually got a lot of coins from Quality Silver Bullion that kind of look like this same coin. And I like the way the coin looks. But, and I do believe in silver as far as, you know, it's not a fiat money and that type of stuff. But that in itself is definitely not going to change the economy. And that is no doubt about that whatsoever. Actually, what's worse than a fiat currency is excessive regulation on business. And there's just so many areas that the business has excessive regulation. It makes it ridiculously difficult for them to do anything. So, you know, that's 90% of the problem in a nutshell, besides the people that do not actually know how to do anything. Most Americans are in jobs that are more, for the large part, bureaucratical and just dealing with excessive regulation. There's a large amount of overhead involved with that. Very few are actually doing the actual production of goods and services, and until that changes, you're not going to see the economy turn around. So it's not just a matter of silver, it's a matter of other things. And you know, I don't know how to change all that stuff, but I mean, it is excessive regulation, far more so than the fiat currency even. That is the problem.